to the hero. When we see your glory, we rise and never to fall. The nation, glory, glory, glory to the Father, for making you a nation and doing forevermore. Ambazonia, you shall even beneath in our knees, and your children shall be like the stars above. The most high God, Ambazonia, freedom, you shall live in plenty in our knees. And your children shall be like the stars above. The most high God be the watchman of his nation. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, fellow Southern Cameroonians. I am very much delighted having you all live on air this morning, or as a part of this wonderful show, signing up on our #1 page. It's on the Southern Cameroons Youth Council. It is your #1 platform. We are here to fight and liberate the people of Southern Cameroons from we are here to liberate or fight and liberate the people of Southern Cameroons from torture, mistreatment, and other inhuman treatments of our brothers on ground zero. We know a lot of you guys have died in British Southern Cameroons. The dictator of the colonial regime has the dictator of the colonial regime has caused the death of a lot of people in Southern Cameroon. And honestly speaking, we are here to liberate any form of human mistreatment, torture, any form of torture in British Southern Cameroon. So we are calling on our people this morning to join us and be a part of this wonderful show. Make sure you share to so we have the widest audience this morning. We want everybody, all Southern Cameroonians, to be a part of this wonderful show this morning. We are going to proceed by inviting our brother. Good morning, Don Pasho.
Yeah, good morning, my brother Cromwell. Good morning, fellow Southern Cameroonians. Good afternoon, good evening. We know we are diverse in so many ways. We are in different parts of the world. Our people, our base, have been made to become refugees in many parts of the world. And that is why you might be telling me good morning while it is good evening in some parts of the world.
Yeah, thank you so very much, Don Pasho. Thank you so much.
Been made to become refugees in many parts of the world, and that is why you might be telling me good morning while it is good evening in some parts of the world.
Yeah, thank you so very much, Don Pasho. Thank you so much. Thank you, Don Pasho, and thank you so much, fellow Southern Cameroonians and all the viewers of this platform. We thank you for always being there. We would like you to share share this. Let this video go viral. A lot of people are sick and tired of a lot of things in Southern Cameroon. A lot of people are just sick and tired of the entire revolution. And I don't want our people to continue living in chaos, because almost all Southern Cameroonians, if you talk to Southern Cameroonians presently, they are sick and tired of everything. Southern Cameroonians are really sick and tired of everything. I remember yesterday I was trying to talk to one of the youth of British Southern Cameroons, and she told me she is not discussing the Ambazonian revolution, that a lot of people have died in her family. That is why she's not ready to sit and discuss anything that concerns our revolution. But that shouldn't be the problem. That can never be the problem. I want Southern Cameroonians, especially the youth, please make sure you share the video, because I am very much delighted. I'm just overwhelmed having someone like Don Pasho with me live this morning. And Don Pasho, if I must confess, I still celebrate you. I will continue celebrating you if you are still in the revolution. Despite what you've seen, you've experienced as an activist. I know exactly what you've gone through. I know what you've undergone as an activist. Majority, some people like you have resigned.
Thank you very much, my brother Cromwell. You know, we are in the Ambazonian revolution today, not because we want to be in that revolution. This is a calling. When it knocks at your door, you answer that call, you answer that freedom call. It is a freedom call that we all have decided to answer to it. No matter how much you try to run away from it, you are still going to answer to it someday. Even those who call themselves the Namberes, the so-called whatever they have given up, there will be a day that they all are going to answer to this call. They will never run away from the Ambazonian revolution. If you hear when Nambere is even talking, when he is in the enemy's camp, he will always make that error to say he is that in this Ambazonian soil. It is not because he wants to say it, it is because it is in our DNA. It is in us. No matter how much we want to run away from it, it is in us, and we are going to stay with the spirit of Ambazonia. It is your revolution. It is my revolution. It is our revolution. It is not anybody's individual revolution. But we, as a collective, we have to do it. We have to take up that task and do it. So we should not say that this revolution, it is Sako's revolution, it is Cho Ayaba's revolution, it is Sisi Kutabe Ayok's revolution. We have to say it loud and clear any day, anytime. When you wake up, you ask yourself, what have you as an Ambazonian done to take the revolution one step closer to Boya? That is the question that each and every Ambazonian, when you wake up, you ask yourself, Cromwell, what have I, Cromwell, done to take this revolution one step closer to Boya? What have I, Don Pasho, done to take this revolution one step closer to Boya? These are the questions that should be preoccupying each and every Ambazonian. It is not that revolution that when you sleep and wake up, you are asking yourself, what should I do to sabotage my brother Cromwell? What should I do to sabotage my brother Cho Ayaba? What should I do to sabotage a leader, my father, Sisi Kutabe Ayok? You should ask yourself, what should I do to take that bold step to make Ambazonia become a reality? As a youth, are you going to be the Nelson Mandela of the revolution? Are you going to be the Paul Kagames of the revolution? Are you going to be the Bobby Wines of the revolution? Are you going to be the Julius Malemas of the revolution? Or are you going to be the Namberes? Are you going to be the hand clappers? Are you going to be the politicians? Or are you going to be a revolutionarist? Ask yourself as a youth, what should I do to take us closer and closer to Boya every day?
Thank you so very much, Don Pasho. I am very much delighted having an activist of your caliber on the show this morning, or on the Youth Council of Ambazonia this morning. This evening, it should be morning somewhere in the world. You know how the world is. As you said this rightfully, that the revolution has displaced Southern Cameroonians, and we are the world over today seeking protection from different governments of across the world. I would like to ask you, do you have any blame? Can you apportion blame on anybody. Like yesterday, like I made mention of this a few minutes ago. Like yesterday, I discussed with one lady. She was very, very very, very uncomfortable when I made mention of that name, Ambazonia. Will you blame anybody who is against the revolution right now? Do you have reasons to blame anybody who is already against the revolution? And do you know why Ambazonians are already turning against the revolution?
This is a very simple answer for me to elaborate, because I will start to say this. If we are to blame anybody, we should blame ourselves as Ambazonians. We, the people of Ambazonia, the youths of Ambazonia in particular, we should blame ourselves. We should not blame those who were in the revolution and withdraw, because we should ask ourselves what made them to withdraw. So the problem is us. Can we reflect? Can we take ourselves back to 2017, 22nd of September 2017? Can we take ourselves to the mass population that went out all over the national territory of Ambazonia? There is no revolution in the world, I repeat, no revolution in the world that every part of that territory went out on same day. None has ever existed like the Ambazonian revolution. It was a history that will never be reversed. Look at our mothers in Washington, D.C., the way they came out, then you have to ask yourself, why did that person that you were talking to decided to withdraw from the revolution? I know many people will be waiting for Don Pacho to say, we want to blame Sako for embezzling. We want to, yes, he embezzled. Yes, the leaders, they don't want to unite. Yes, they are doing their own things. But you watching at me today, you who has decided to withdraw, what have you done to teach those who embezzled, those who have refused to unite, those who have refused to collaborate? What have you done to set an example that we or I am capable of doing what those people could not do? Leadership is an inborn, and when you decide to take up that responsibility, take it up without any fear. If you are a revolutionary, you decide that I, Don Pacho, I will never give up this revolution. I, Don Pacho, I want the youths of Ambazonia to rise up. I want the youths of Ambazonia to take up the battle stick. Take up the battle stick like when Nelson Mandela was not a leader in the apartheid revolution. No, Nelson Mandela was not a leader. There were other leaders. There were the Desmond Tutus. There were this other guy. I'm forgetting his name. And Nelson Mandela decided to form the ANC Youth League. Why did he form the ANC Youth League? Because he saw that what those old people are doing, they are not doing it to free the people. So the youths have to radicalize. How did the ANC became radicalized? It became radicalized through who? Through Nelson Mandela, because he stood up as that gigantic youth, as that patriotic citizen of South Africa and said, no, we cannot watch our people being killed in this manner. And he forgot, he gave a damn about all those other leaders and took up the battles as his own battle. I will take us back to 2016 when the likes of Dr. Fontaine, the likes of Agbo Balas, when they were agitating, fighting for their rights. As teachers and lawyers, they were fighting for their rights. Who radicalized the revolution? Who made us where we are today? Who made us where we are today? It is Mancho BBC. Mancho BBC made us to be where we are today because he took up that coffin and said, let the first bullet strike me. He was fighting for the common man. He was fighting for you. He was fighting for me. So it is high time we stop apportioning blame on others and take up the responsibility to free homeland.
I am a Southern Cameroonian. I am a political activist. I myself, I have been in this revolution. I joined the Southern Cameroon's National Council, SCNC, in 2005 and became a youth leader for SCAPO, Southern Cameroon's People's Organization, in 2013. And today, spokesperson for the Ambazonian Youth Council. Thank you so much for that comment, Mami Grace. Mami Grace just sent a text to us or a message to us. That message is very important. And that is exactly why, as leader of the revolution, can you, Don Pasho, copy the link and send it on WhatsApp, all the pages on WhatsApp? I want the youth of Ambazonia to watch the show. I want all the youth of Ambazonia to really watch the show, because the youth today, the reason why we are talking today, or the reason why as youth of Ambazonia, we have decided to take over. We are not taking over the revolution. We are not hijacking the revolution. We are not fighting. That we have a lot of lapses in the revolution. The old people or the self-proclaimed or the leaders of the revolution have failed us in one way or the other. And the dying population on ground zero are mostly the youth. Those suffering in jails are mostly the youth. Those fighting on ground zero, which is the most imperative, which is the most important thing in the revolution, for the revolution, are the youth. So to the best of my knowledge, we, the youth of Ambazonia, or the Ambazonia Youth Council, Don Pacho, you are a part of. And this is what we are doing. I want to tell all the leaders, we are not fighting Sisi Kwayuk Tabi, we are not fighting Chris Anu, we are not fighting Eric Tatao, but I want to discourage majority of Don Pacho, the predicament of our people on ground zero. I will tell you categorically clear that the predicament, we are a part of the problems plaguing Ambazonia. We, the onliners, those of us who come on air to talk to Ambazonians, to address Ambazonians, we are a part of the problems plaguing our nation. We have been using energy negatively. We come on air, hijack the social media space. We do not discuss to convince or to tell the world what is ongoing in Ambazonia. When we come on air, each time we approach the social media, we criticize, vilify, and discredit people who have offered a lot in the revolution.
Thank you. Let me intervene here, my brother Cromwell. You know, there is this problem that I, as a social media activist, I have taken my time. For this, this COVID-19 has been a blessing to some people. We are not praying for it to continue. I am someone who really feels so bad with this situation because it has really put me down to a very bad level. But I want to say this, my brother. During this period of COVID-19, I decided to analyze what Ambazonian activists love, and I came out with two things. Ambazonian activists, they want fame. They don't want to be critics for the revolution. When they call you an activist does not take side with an enemy. An activist does not take sides when there is gross misappropriation of public funds. An activist does not take sides when there is mass killings. What is the function of an activist. An activist comes out to speak the truth to the people. An activist comes out to make the people to understand why they joined the Ambazonian revolution and why we are running away from the chronic regime of La République du Cameroon. When I look at the Ambazonian population at large, the Ambazonian population is the one that is making the activists to feel as if they are the gods of Ambazonia. Ambazonians, you have given powers to activists who don't do the right things because they want fame. If I Don Pacho want to have, for example, I Don Pacho wants to have 1,000 views on this page tomorrow, Cromwell, it will not take me anything. Immediately I start sabotaging any of the leaders. If I take Eric Tato, if I take Samuel Sako, if I take Sisiku, and I make it a topic, bet me and you tomorrow as we come live, we will have 2,000 viewers, because they will come because they want us to speak about Sako, they want us to speak about Sisiku, they want us to speak about against Cho Ayaba, they want us to speak against Eritato. Those are the people that are killing the Ambazonian revolution, because the Ambazonian activists, they don't want us. They don't want to tell the Ambazonians what the Ambazonians want. They don't want to tell Ambazonians that we are in a revolution. We are in a liberation struggle. We are not in a party political jamboree that if you don't support President Sisi Kutabayo, then you are not for the revolution. If you don't support Samuel Sako, then you are not for the revolution. If you don't support Cho Ayaba, you are not for the revolution. That is not why we are in this revolution. We are in this revolution because of the people suffering on ground zero. Again, we are in this revolution because of the people suffering on ground zero. Again, I repeat, we are in this revolution for the people that are suffering on ground zero. And we should fight
very much,
to liberate those
we've
people.
We have been on the revolution. I want to tell Southern Cameroonians one thing. There is one thing I want to paint to the Southern Cameroonians, a portrait I want to release or unveil to Southern Cameroonians. The way we in the revolution has been so much so that people are sick and tired of we. I want to tell you, the Ambazonian Youth Council is not a new body in British Southern Cameroon. It is one of the oldest, created in 2016, when Mr. Biya thought he could use force to suppress the people of Southern Cameroon. There was need for a stronger body to stand up and defend homeland, and the Ambazonian Youth Council was created. So I want to tell you, Southern Cameroonians, when Don Pacho is talking, he is talking with another mentality. I know majority of us Southern Cameroons activists, political activists, we've murdered our integrity. The past shouldn't describe our present, and the future should be seen as such. Because what the Ambazonia Youth Council is fighting for, I have not advocated. I have not advocated as a political activist on the social media for long. Reasons being that I was already seeing torture, rapes, extrajudicial killings, and other inhuman treatments of our people. The concept is different. The purpose is different. The Ambazonian Youth Council, we have one as a top priority to British Southern Cameroonians to defend the defenseless population on ground zero. That is our main goal. The second priority of the people of British Southern Cameroon or the Ambazonian Youth Council is to protect our people from anybody, be it an Amber boy on ground zero. And I thank a lot of Amber boys on ground zero, the Amber generals on ground zero, who are already working with the Ambazonian Youth Council to defend our people. We know Atananji Paul have used the French Cameroon's military to mistreat our people in civilian attire, to mistreat our people. And the blame is always on the Amber Boys on ground zero. As leaders of the revolution, that is where the leaders of our revolution have failed. That is where we say shame unto all of the leaders. When I say all the leaders of the revolution, I am not talking about a particular leader. Because when we talk of freedom fighting, we have a lot of people who have fought for freedom. We should emulate the people who have fought genuinely for freedom. Nelson Mandela, Thomas Sankara, to mention just a few. We know a lot of them. Freedom fighting is with principles to protect the people. You do not mistreat in the course of achieving a goal. That is a simple truth, and that is why the Ambazonian Youth Council, we want to rebuild hope.
Let me come in here again a little bit, my brother Cromwell. I want to state to the Ambazonian people that this revolution is our revolution. This revolution is for the people. And I will say it categorically clear to each and every Ambazonian that the Ambazonian Youth Council, one of the main objectives that we are coming out is to sanitize this social media. We must put order on social media. Those chronic social media so-called activists who have taken the revolution to be playing politics, insulting brothers, insulting fighters, insulting fellow leaders, it will stop. We will name and shame any leader or any activist who comes out instead of advocating for the revolution. I want to call on all the young activists. I will not take sides for anybody. I will call on them and I will call their names. I will call on you, Prince JK. Sit down. This is 2021 that we are getting into. Prince JK, sit down and ask yourself if truly you are fighting for the defenseless, you are fighting for the suffering people of Ambazonia on the ground. Ask yourself if you are entering 2021, you will continue with this type of activism. I want to call on you, Mr. Nanchop, that if you truly is an activist for the Ambazonian revolution, then ask yourself if you are getting into 2021. If you are getting into 2021, revisit yourself.
Thank you so much, Don Pasho. There is one thing.
No, please.
There is a picture.
Let me be clear. Let me be clear.
It is we are not criticizing. We are criticizing why trying to build, because Nanchop, Eric Tatao, and all the Facebook Live broadcasters.
I am calling all of them. Why am I calling their names? I'm calling their names because we all are young people. We all are youths. I want all of us to look at ourselves and ask ourselves, truly, do we want to free homeland?
As a media personnel and a builder of a nation, there are things we need to understand. The Ambazonia Youth Council is one thing the youth of Ambazonia have not, or the youth of Ambazonia forgot their role in politics. That is what the colonization of Africa, that is a negative effect of colonization in Africa. The colonization made us to understand that politics is for the old. Yeah, if you go to Africa, they'll tell you that age is wisdom. But the reality or the truth is brain deteriorates with age. We as the youth of Ambazonia, to clean Ambazonia, criticism or criticizing our activists is not the solution. We as the youth of registered Cameroons, I have learned from a couple of activists that the Ambazonia Youth Council is being sponsored by a particular detained leader. His Excellency Sisi Kwayutabi is sponsoring the Ambazonia Youth Council. No, I just want this picture. I want everybody to know. I want everybody to know that the Ambazonian.
No, I am my brother. Cromwell, you stopped me.
I am not. I just want the world to know, and I want the audience or the viewers to understand, to know that the Ambazonian Youth Council is not sponsored by anybody. And one thing about our Southern Cameroon politics is what a lot of people, the misconception.
We are not in any political. We are not in any political whatsoever.
Political group in Southern
we are,
and we are not interested in
a revolution.
Because the money is contributed as Southern Cameroonians to free our people on
Let me come in a little bit again. Let me come in a little bit again, please. Just give me a minute. Let me say this. There is a difference between a revolution and a political whatsoever we want to call it. We are not in any political fanfare. We are in a revolution, in a liberation struggle that we are fighting for our liberation. I was calling the names of the likes of Nacho, Eritato, Prince Jeka, Mark Barata, all the activists. We need to revisit. We need to revisit ourselves. I was not making an exception for anybody. I was not excluding. I was not excluding myself.
Our political,
all of us as activists, we must stand up. We must stand up to say a categorical no to these old people who are taking our future to somewhere else. We rose up. The young people, we rose up in 2016. We rose up in 2017. And we will not take this battle right up to this level. And we are seeing how our future is being diverted by a bunch of old people. It will not work. And we, the people, I am speaking with a lot of enthusiasm in me because I am taking up my life. I have given up my youthfulness. I have decided I cannot visit home. I cannot visit my people back home. So I have given up all for me to be able to stand up and say a no to a dictatorial regime that is killing my fellow brothers and sisters back home. The youths of Eritrea, when the Eritreans were fighting for their independence, when they killed their soldiers, their liberation fighters, their freedom fighters on the ground, they mobilized themselves in the diaspora and they went back and defended their homeland. They fought and took over their homeland. If I, Cromwell Richie, I ask each and every one of us who came to shout on social media every day, they will kill till the last man standing. How many are willing? How many, I repeat, how many of us are willing to go back home and take up that battle stick and fight to free homeland? How many of us? How many of us are willing to take that battle stick? I will tell you, if we stand up, I will tell you we will not be more than 3 of us. The rest are not willing to die, but they are there shouting and disturbing the revolution. Not only because they want freedom, it is because they are fighting for their political positions and the financial hegemony. That is what these so-called activists, they are fighting for. We want to state it. I am standing here tonight to say this categorically clear to fellow Southern Cameroonians, youths. We have to mobilize ourselves. We have to put ourselves in order, because I was in a meeting and one general asked us that, do we think that when they kill them every day like this, some people add, they don't add, they reduce. Youths in the diaspora, I put my life first to say it today on social media. There will be a time when you people will sit on pasture on the ground. And if you are a youth willing to sacrifice for your nation, join the Ambazonia Youth Council. It is time for us to take over.
There is a portrait I want to paint to all Ambazonians, and I want all Ambazonians to see this portrait the way I painted. See, our revolution has been characterized by great misappropriation, corruption, banditry, nepotism. But most of these things shouldn't be our advocacy on the social media. I think as the Ambazonian Youth Council, when we come to advocate on the social media, there are things we need to tell Ambazonians. What is in us, the Ambazonia Youth Council, that has not been in other political activists? That is one thing we should always tell them. Because if we come and start criticizing, Prince J.K. is an activist. He is a youth. And might be his negative activism or his positive activism is because of lack of basic knowledge in activism, or the lack of knowledge in the Ambazonian politics. The Ambazonian Youth Council, how are we different from other groups that have come up? That is what I actually want us to educate the people of Southern Cameroons, because we are different. The difference between us and some activists is because when we come to the social media like this, we are not apportioning blame to anybody. The truth is, we have all destroyed the revolution in one way or the other. But as Ambazonian Youth Council, we are calling on all the activists, especially the youths. One of them the other day said, we are being sponsored by a particular leader. No, the Ambazonian Youth Council. I am telling Southern Cameroonians, and I am telling French Cameroons, that the youths of Ambazonia have accepted the throne, and we are getting into the politics. Whoever tortures our people on ground zero, that is our priority. The security, safety, and security of our people on ground zero. Believe me, be it an Amber boy, be it a French Cameroon soldier, we are able and willing to fight and crush anybody. The second one, those destroying the revolution. Now, the youths are taking lead. Honorable Roy of the United Kingdom, Roy was a British parliamentarian at the age of 19. And Roy was the most radical parliamentarian in Britain. There is another female parliamentarian in the UK, in Britain presently, who is so radical. She's 23 years old. We, the youth of Southern Cameroon, all the leaders of our revolution, we are promising all the leaders, whether in jail, because in Kondengi, members of the Ambazonia Youth Council are in Kondengi. Members are everywhere across the world, even in Kondengi. If you think you can destroy our revolution in Kondengi, believe me, we will start arresting and torturing you, because you are doing all this political madness at the detriment of our brother's blood. My
brother Cromwell,
our people
let me intervene again
in the pool of their blood, of their brother's blood, and people take it for financial, for business. A revolution that has killed approximately 25,000 people, you take it for business? I think this insanity, the Ambazonian Youth Council is not a radical political group. We are not a radical movement. We are not under any leadership. We are not under any leadership. And majority of our political experts.
Comrade Cromwell, you are making a mistake. We are a radical movement. We are the radical youth that we have decided to put order in the revolution, and we have decided that we are going to make sure that this revolution gets to the final end. Radicalism does not mean negativity. Radicalism in positive dimension. We are diverting this revolution. We are not going to talk. Many people will be saying we have no fighters on the ground. Yes, we don't have fighters on the ground. But those fighters on the ground, they will listen to us. Those fighters on the ground, they will understand us. Those fighters on the ground, they will believe in us, because they will see the advices, the words of encouragement, what we are going to give them. No matter how much you give them, we are going to give them the intellect that they need. They are lacking in the intellect. That is why they are fighting amongst themselves instead of fighting against the enemy. You people have made them to be fighting themselves, killing themselves instead of fighting against the enemy. That is the mentality that we are coming up with. We want the radicalization of the revolution. We cannot more continue politicizing in a liberation struggle. This is a liberation struggle, and we cannot be politicizing, making speeches upon speeches, standing up this day to come and talk that this leader is coming to talk, that leader is coming to talk. We are not interested in any leadership. We are not interested in any leader. We don't care about who is leading the revolution. What we care is about the future of Ambazonia. What we care is about our future and the future of our children. Some of these so-called leaders in their youthful age, when they were my age, they were playing their lives, they were drinking in bars, doing whatever thing they were doing. But this is me in my youthful age. Tonight, I was supposed to be out there having some drinks with friends, but I am indoors. Tonight, I was supposed to organize a party to drink with friends, but I am indoors because I am fighting for the freedom. There are people with guns in the bushes, while they were supposed to be having their good time in nightclubs, like what the Namberes who have given up, the traitors that have given up, they are showing on their so-called TV, showing all those things to intimidate them. But they have decided that it is either independence or resistance forever. They have stood up to say they will fight and fight and fight. But those who call themselves leaders today, they went to school. Our young people are not going to school. Our children are not going to school. This generation have said it is either freedom or resistance forever. Look at Honorable Chabulani of Uganda. He calls himself Bobby Wine. He is a youth. He's 38 years old. He's a youth. He is the main opposition party that is pulling all sorts of crowds in Uganda. All Uganda, he has made the youths of Uganda to be involved in politics, because like my brother Cromwell said, the mentality that our forefathers gave us, that youths do not mingle in politics, lies. This generation, the African generation of today, we call ourselves the never again generation. It is not about the Ambazonian generation calling themselves the never again. It is the African youth, the African generation. We call ourselves the never again generation. And we are going to take out all these old dictators in Africa. In Africa, we are going to take them down. Because
I would like to
we,
our audience, I would like
the
to
youth, we must. Let me land. I have one thing to say before you come in, my brother, please. I want this to go as a message. The people of La République du Cameroon, the Basque people, you people are playing pranks with Paul Biya. You people are playing pranks with Paul Biya. If you people are serious that you want to take down Paul Biya, you look at us. They used to call us the minority. This minority, Southern Cameroonians and Ambazonians, we, the minority, we have resisted Paul Biya we have resisted 8 so-called regions in Cameroon for the past 4 good years and counting. And you people are the so-called majority. You are there claiming you are the boss, you are contributing monies. You cannot send if you people, the French Cameroon people, the La République people, if you are serious that you want to take out Paul Biya, send your own young people to the bushes. They need to come out with their own weapons. If they want to take out Paul Biya, send them to the bushes. Let them enter the bushes and come out like the Ambazonian fighters are coming out. Like those of the ADF are doing. Like those of the AMF are doing. Like what the restoration forces are doing. This is what you people, the Basque people, you need to be doing. Not on social media every day shouting, Paul Biya must go, Paul Biya must go. Paul Biya will not go using the mouth. Paul Biya will go by using the barrel of a gun. If you people cannot use your guns, then stop deceiving people.
Don Pacho, there is one thing I think we are like extending our spheres. Yeah, because we are more focused on Ambazonia, though we need to discuss Africa as a continent. We are focused on.
Let me correct. There is one thing. There is one thing that we Ambazonians have failed. And this failure is going to us, the activists, to us. We have refused to radicalize La République du Cameroon. We have refused to make La République to understand.
Picked up arms for 4 years.
Yes.
Ammunition have not spoken. The most radical language is arms, armed conflict. It has deteriorated into a stinking situation, putting us at a state of dilemma. The people of British Southern Cameroon are confused at this juncture. As Youth Council of Ambazonia, we've noticed, studied the revolution, and we know we have the youth, majority of those on ground zero, or those who were contributing for the liberation of their people. You can't be in a diaspora contributing to free your people from mental slavery, from torture, from abduction and killing, and your people are being, the ammunition have been used negatively. That is an undeniable fact, that the ammunitions bought to fight La République du Cameroun has been used negatively by majority of the fighters on ground zero. And we, as the Ambazonian Youth Council, we are here to clean up this mess. Yes, we need a youthful revolutionary spirit. The reason why Honorable Weber stood in the La République dungeon, or at the tent of the lion, to fight Mr. Bia is because he was still having the youthful spirit in him. And that is why we need the youth to take active part in politics. Look at the vice president of the Ambazonia Youth Council, that charming princess. Look at the courage and energy, her intellectual capability. Those are the things we lack in this revolution, and that is what the youth of Ambazonia, the youth of the Ambazonia Youth Council are bringing in. We, in a revolution, majority of the youth on ground zero fight without even knowing the purpose of the fight. The reason why they are fighting is missing. They are fighting to clear. They are fighting to protect ground zero, to protect the dying population. And I am telling you, you make mention of Nambere. I want to paint this portrait clearly. It is a clean portrait. What Nambere did, majority of us social media activists cannot do. That young man laid his life for the liberation of Ambazonia. What Nambere lacked wasn't conscience. Nambere lacked the intelligence, what we are trying to bring in for the Amber boys on ground zero. You also make mention of the fact that we are trying to, no. Remember the meeting we held last time with majority of them being a part of the meeting. Remember them calling us to and are so happy with us because majority of them radicalizing the revolution or torturing, mistreating our people on ground zero are doing it ignorantly. And I want to paint this portrait clear to Ambazonians that most of the kidnaps on ground zero are being, planned by your self-acclaimed leaders. That is what we of the Ambazonian Youth Council have noticed, that some of the leaders of the revolution are the kidnappers themselves. They have a group kidnapping on ground zero. And we are fighting any leader or anybody who kidnaps or tortures anyone on ground zero. Just hit us up. Call the Ambazonian Youth Council to report any case of kidnap. We are able and willing to defend our people. The essence of the Ambazonian Youth Council is to rebuild hope to the hopeless. I want to tell you something. Don Pashu, Atangan Jipon, either. Majority of them are in a state of dilemma. They can't move further. They cannot come back home. They can neither go further nor come back home. But the reason why majority of them are sick and tired of everything is because they are seeing a chunk of idiots controlling, in charge of a revolution. A revolution that would have brought positive impact There is no Southern Cameroonian by birth, including those working in French Cameroon's military, who are against the revolution. The problem now is the fear. They now see the revolution as a failure, but which has not failed. Because there are people like Pa Augustine Fendangam. Pa Augustine Fendangam, the author of Advanced Cameroon Primary English. I hope you read that book back in the primary school. Advanced Cameroon Primary English with a story. Musit and Sinyam were great friends. Yeah, the author is the national chairman of SCAPO. These are the people fighting in. Where are people? I was surprised when a relative of Barrister Bobga Harmony was kidnapped. Barrister Bobga called me that morning. His relative was kidnapped. Do you know the repercussion of that madness by an Amber boy? Because he's now holding.
My brother, let me come in again a little bit here. I want to say this, and I will say it to you, my brother. Listen, we should not go into this level of giving some public information to make people to look at as if this or that. I want to say this, and I will say it categorically clear on this live show, because very soon I will be leaving. I want to say this. I will give thank you. As we are getting into 2021, I will say thank you to everybody, to everyone, to every Ambazonian, whether of what affiliation you call yourself. I want to say thank you for staying into the revolution right up to this present moment. I will say thank you very much to all of you. It has not been an easy job. It has not been an easy job. The likes of the Namberes, the likes of the Sikot Yanniks, the likes of the Sofonchas, the likes of Nicolas Santos, they have given up. But you who are still there, even though maybe you might be you might be going towards the wrong leader or whatsoever, but I say thank you for still maintaining and calling the name Ambazonia, still standing firm to say you are a Southern Cameroonian. As we move into 2021, my dear brothers and sisters, my dear comrades, we are moving into 2021 with a motto. That motto should be, we want freedom. No matter where that freedom is coming from, we want freedom. Freedom should be our motto. And we should take up that battle, that we don't depend that I am depending on Ayabacho or Boya or no Boya, or Sisiku or no Boya, or Jomba Akuru or no Boya. No, no, and no, and no, and no. Take it up as a responsibility, Ambazonians. Let's take it up as a responsibility to free homeland. It is your revolution. It is my revolution. It is our revolution. And we all, as a united people, can do it. Can do it. Not only doing it, but can make it possible. My dear people of Ambazonia, it is high time we rise up. We rise up and say no to fraud. We say no to embezzlement. We say no to sabotage. We say no to insults, and we say yes, yes to a one Ambazonia. We need to ask ourselves, why are we fighting ourselves? What unites us is greater than what divides us. And what is that thing that unites us? That thing is Ambazonia, that nation Ambazonia. Forget whether Sisiko is your leader, forget about whether Sako is your leader, forget whether Ayaba is your leader, forget whether John Baakuru is your leader. Look at what unites us. Look at what unites us. What unites us as Ambazonians is greater than what divides us. If I can talk with Cromwell today, it's because we looked beyond our political affiliations, and we decided to say, let us build as young people. If I am talking to you guys today, and I am saying, as we are getting into 2021, like I said, I am about to leave, Comrade, please just give me some few minutes. I am about to leave. As we are getting into 2021, I say to fellow Ambazonians, we are one. We are one, and we must, as a people, stand up as one. And this is my last live show to get into 2021. And I will say this, and I will say it with a lot of joy. My fellow people of Ambazonia, if I, Don Pasho, has ever offended you in whatever way, let us say sorry. I say sorry. Forgive as we get into 2021. As we get into 2021, we all are going to sing hooray. Finally, yes, we succeeded. I want to sing this song for us. I borrowed this song from Honorable Chabulani. He's one of my leaders that I respect, I love, I follow him so much. Unfortunately, he was being arrested again today in Uganda. He is whom I call Bobby Wine. That is his stage name. He went in Uganda, he sings this song. And I want to sing it to us Ambazonians using the Ambazonian name. When the struggle shall be over, we shall wear the victory crown. We shall wear the victory crown. We shall wear the victory crown. When the struggle is over, we shall wear the victory crown in a new Ambazonia. Thank you very much, my brother, Comrade Cromwell. We are together. Ambazonians, let us unite and fight for our freedom. Thank you very much, Cromwell.
As a political activist and an expert in activism, what do you expect from the youth of Ambazonia in 2020? Or what do you think the youth of Ambazonia can do to achieve independence in 2021?
My take for us, the young people, youths of Ambazonia, we have the knife and the yam. Can we, as young people, unite ourselves? If these old people don't want to, can we, the young people? I will call again on my brother, Prince Jika. I will call on my brother, Mr. Nanchop. I will call on my brother, Eric Tato. I will call on my brother, Mark Barata. I will call on my brother, Clovis. I will call on each and every activist that is on social media. Can we, these young people, prove to those older people that we can do it? If we unite and take up the battle stick that we want freedom, these older people, they will respect us. But if we keep on clapping and singing praises for them, they will continue messing us up, and our future and the future of our children, we will not realize what we want to realize. Thank you very much.
Do you have a proposed strategy for the unity of the youths of Ambazonia? What you think if the youth of Ambazonia do, they will come together to fight the corruption, misappropriation, mismanagement, and the gerontocracy in our Amazonian government?
What we, the young people, need to do is for us to talk to ourselves. It's for us to talk to ourselves. I believe I talk to every activist. I have called Prince Jeka several times, even though he doesn't respond to my. I believe let us talk to ourselves. Talking to ourselves, we are going to solve our differences. Talk, and talk. Let us talk to ourselves. We are going to make it a reality. If we keep on avoiding each other, it will be a problem.
The reason or the brain behind division and the in-house fighting in Ambazonian revolution is due to lack of communication? Is that the cause of
the main cause of the problem in the Ambazonian revolution is, first, I will name you 3 things that we Ambazonians need to work on. 1, lack of communication. 2, jealousy and pride. 3, the third thing that Ambazonians need to work on is we need to stop insults. Stop insults.
Thank you so much, Don Pasho. I would like the youth of Ambazonia to know Before quitting the revolution, Yannick Sikot was my very good friend. He was a close friend to me before abandoning the revolution. The reason why Yannick Sikot left the revolution, I would say, is lack of wisdom and knowledge. Because before abandoning the revolution, I spoke to Yannick Sikot as a friend. He called me when he left the revolution, but he took the wrong path. And Yannick Sikot, my dear brother, majority of these guys can come back if we rebuild the revolution. He's confused and not. We are today. We have this bad name of describing our brothers in politics. In politics, as we define politics. In politics, you have the right to your opinion and should express your political.
My brother Cromwell, I come again to intervene. I want to intervene again because I don't. When we now want to give the right education. We are not in a political jamboree or in any political fanfare. We are in a revolution. I want to state it categorically clear here today. Somebody like Yannick Sikot, he needs to be gunned down anywhere you see him. You don't betray the cause of a people. You don't betray a cause of a people. This is a fight for the people. Listen to me. Any black, like any person who abandons a battle, a fight, should never come back. It's a no. You need to be gunned down.
Can you give listening ears to me? Do you think if the Ambazonian revolution had a great leadership, if the leadership of our revolution was good or was great, do you think Yannick Sikot and other black legs, Namberes, would have abandoned the struggle to side with the enemy in killing their people? And
I will reverse that question back to you, Cromwell. You that are still talking about the Ambazonian revolution, has that leadership changed? Why did you not leave?
That is the question. Changing the leadership of a revolution, like one guy asked me a question the other day. A guy posted a question on my timeline asking to know more about the Ambazonian Youth Council. I answered him. He asked me if the Youth Council of Ambazonia is recognized. I said, by who? When you want change, when SDF was created in Bamenda, SDF was not a legal political entity. They started from the pipelines with a lot of political strategies. I think what we of Ambazonia we lack today is that word strategy. We do not strategize. We think money can do everything. Money will never bring independence to Ambazonians. And I think it's high time we started talking about or discouraging people from contributing their money.
Sorry, I have to leave. I'm receiving lots of messages. I'm supposed to be in a very important meeting right now. Like I told you before we got into this show, I'm supposed to be in a very important meeting. I've been receiving series of messages. I need to go in. I'm already 16 minutes over the time of the meeting. I need to join the other people in the meeting. Thank you very much. And my fellow Ambazonians, I believe tomorrow, I think it's on the 31st, that is tomorrow, the chairlady of the AYC will be giving the way forward for the youths, end of year speech, and giving the way forward for 2021, how the youths are going to move. So let us all join. And if you want to join the AYC, you can contact Don Pasho. If you have my number, you can contact Don Pasho. You can contact my Facebook page is there. I have Sima Don Pasho. You can get to me on Messenger. And from there, we can then evaluate and join you to the group of youth. Thank you very much and have a blessed and fruitful week. As we enter the year 2020, I want to wish, 2021, sorry, I want to wish each and every Southern Cameroonian, each and every Ambazonian a happy and prosperous New Year 2021 in advance. Thank you very much, Comrade Cromwell.
Thank you so very much for honoring my invitation, Don Pasho, to being with you in subsequent days or in days ahead. That was Don Pasho, the fearless radical revolutionary based in Europe. He fled the sociopolitical imbroglio that has claimed the lives of over 20,000 people. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's high time, especially for the youth of Ambazonia, to stand and fight for your rights, to stand and hijack or take what rightfully belongs to you. It is our revolution. This is for the freedom of our people. This is for the freedom of the people of Ambazonia from this political madness, from Yaoundé. But we cannot fight Yaoundé without cleaning our mess. Our political system has been damaged. Ambazonia itself has been destroyed by bad leadership. You cannot fight darkness with darkness. Light, you only use light to conquer darkness. Light and darkness does not meet. That is a simple truth. We were the essence, the brain behind the socio-political imbroglio in Southern Cameroon was to murder greed or to kill gerontocracy, to destroy bad governance. But what have we gained or benefited from the revolution? A lot of people. Many people do not want to hear the name Ambazonia. I mean, born Ambazonians do not want to hear the name Ambazonia anymore. Political activists use energy negatively when they come on the social media to advocate for the freedom of our people. When they come to the social media, they hijack the social media space to vilify. To vilify. Leadership is not incarnated to self-glorification, because you are good at glorifying yourselves. We should see your good works and glorify you, leaders of Ambazonia. The Ambazonian Youth Council, with the most intelligent youth in Ambazonia, have come together. We've come together not to fight you leaders. We've come together not to hijack power from you greedy leaders, but we have come together to fill in the blank spaces with the correct answer. I think something is lacking in the revolution. What is lacking in our revolution? Strategy. We want to re-strategize the revolution. We want to re-strategize and make sure the most important one. We are saying this categorically clear, painting a bigger portrait to all the fighters on ground zero. Don Pasho made a statement a few minutes ago that the Ambazonian Youth Council have been in touch with a lot of guys on ground zero, the self-defenders on ground zero. And the last time we invited somebody who is a trained military officer to educate the Amber boys on ground zero. One thing the Amber boys do lack, and the Ambazonians, I want to tell you something. Take this as your 2021 motto. I don't care if you paint me black leg or whatsoever, because I know majority of the self-proclaimed leaders and their fan clubs shall go to their social media spaces to say Kromorichi is the black leg. I don't care. I don't care. Call me black leg, blue, green, yellow leg. Whatsoever you can paint me black. I want to tell Ambazonians that in 2021, if the leadership of this revolution doesn't change, if the leadership of this revolution does not stand for justice, the truth, then don't contribute your money. Because you have contributed to enrich criminals. You have contributed your money, and some people are getting rich. Why? Our brothers' blood have watered homeland. Our soils are red, have been painted red by our brothers' blood. We cannot keep contributing. We cannot keep contributing while our brothers continue dying on ground zero. No, multiple kidnaps. How do we bring an end to kidnaps in Ambazonia? These are the rhetorical questions that the Ambazonia Youth Council is trying to answer. We are putting an end, and we've fought and we are succeeding in many ways. Many ways. Yes. We are succeeding. We are already succeeding in many ways. How are we succeeding? One, we have succeeded to free some captives. We cannot desecrate the sanctity of our profane for political motives. Even the Geneva Convention states this clear. Yes, the Geneva Convention states this. It stipulates that you cannot desecrate the sanctity of profanes, that during war, secret places and worship houses should be respected. I am not encouraging blacklecking or whatsoever. 30 Passover, what shall the Ambazonia Youth Council do? Just try and kidnap them. You know the Ambazonia Youth Council. Try and kidnap. I don't care if you're an Amber boy or whatsoever in Ambazonia, because the kidnapping in Ambazonia is a business, and majority of the leaders are sponsoring kidnaps on ground zero. The Ambazonia Youth Council is able and willing to stop this madness. Just there and see. The one who, I am still saying this. There was an Amber boy in Bali some years ago, Tilapia, who arrested and tortured a woman on the streets of Bali. We fought, and Tilapia escaped after killing a 16-year-old. Nabila was shot and killed by Tilapia because Tilapia wanted Nabila to be a girlfriend. When Nabila denied his proposal, it went up that way. We fought. The Ambazonians today are sick and tired, not because of the cause, but because of bad leadership. The Ambazonia Youth Council is working with all the leaders of Ambazonia, and majority of them, those you think are stubborn leaders or those you think are bad leaders, are already working with Ambazonia. Don't judge. You can't read a book from the cover. We've spoken to almost all the leaders. We've spoken to all the groups in Ambazonia. We have spoken to the leaders of the revolution, and a lot of them are also in a state of dilemma. How do we pull ourselves out of this state of confusion? How do we control the revolution? How do we have a common enemy? Because majority of the so-called enemies in the revolution, or the black legs in the revolution, are planted by La République du Cameroon. Those are planned strategies. What their masters, France. I want to tell you, a lot of people, like in a discussion with one lady yesterday, the lady said we are praying for Mr. Biya to die. I want to tell you, Mr. Biya has never been president. Unlike, just like in other Africa, French West African nations, they've never had presidents. Mr. Biya was just a French overseas governor. Mr. Biya was the governor. And any president that rules France is the president of Cameroon. And those are the people sponsoring terrorism in Cameroon. France is sponsoring terrorism in Ambazonia. France is killing our people in Ambazonia. How do we as a people fight this madness? If we continue fighting each other, if we continue vilifying each other, we are not just talking, because a lot of people come and talk and leave. We do not talk. We are not talking to leave. Politics is not for the weak. Politics is not for the weak. Politics is for brain boxes. That is what politics is all about. It is for brain boxes. Politics is for brain boxes. Politics is for intellectuals. Politics is for people with conscience. Are you conscientious? Are you ready for a change? You start your change right in your mind. You cannot change a nation without fighting for the nation appropriately. We need the intellectual part of the revolution, which has been absent from Ambazonia, which has not been alive for decades. We need the intellectual part of the revolution to take over the revolution. That is what the youth are bringing in. The youth of Ambazonia are ready and able to change Ambazonia, to give Ambazonia a new face, to give the revolution hope. Our people are being tortured. Our people are being slain. Our people are being killed. Our people are swimming in the blood pool of their brothers. And the so-called leaders have the so-called leaders have changed the initial concept of the revolution to a fundraising issue. We are changing everything. So in our subsequent hours, or on December, the last day of the year 2020, it has been a terrible year. It has been a terrible year. Nobody likes 2020. And we are not praying. We're praying for a change in 2021. We are praying for another 2021. We are praying for everything. We are praying for good things in 2021. And the youth of Ambazonia are here for you. We are here to fight any bully, to rebuild hope in our revolution. We are here to build another mentality, not the mentality that when someone hears of the Ambazonia, of Ambazonia as a nation, we only think of kidnapped, torture, or the mentality whereby if an Ambazonian sees a young man in the quarters, you start running because you think they are going to kidnap you. That is not what Ambazonia wants. We want a strange, we want an Ambazonia where the youth of Ambazonia, or we want an Ambazonia where the youth of Ambazonia or the people of Ambazonia shall be focused on change. The civilians shall be more friendly. The civilians shall be more friendly to the Amba boys, not an Ambazonia where bullies are raised. Don't think you joined this struggle to brutalize or vandalize anybody on ground zero. If you are into the struggle, you should be here for a change. You should be here to impact lives. You should be here to build lives. Over 500 youth in Ambazonia have come together today, and in subsequent days, we shall be celebrating as a people. We shall be celebrating. Anybody who kidnaps, be it on ground zero or wherever, the Ambazonian Youth Council is going to end that madness. The Ambazonian Youth Council is going to give hope to the hopeless. The Ambazonian Youth Council is going to rebuild hope. And you encourage a lot of madness in the revolution. You encourage a lot of madness in the revolution. If somebody comes up today, since you are not into the struggle, or since you do not believe in the change in Ambazonia, since you believe in a particular leader, if there are people, there are Southern Cameroonians who just think if I come up today, I should say Ayuk Tabe Sisiku is not a good leader, he's a bad leader, or Chris Anu is a bad leader. You follow leadership and not the dream. You follow leadership and not the cause. The revolution is today a curse to a lot of people. And majority of the youth on ground zero are joining the revolution not to fight freedom, not for freedom fighting. They are joining the revolution. They are joining the revolution to torture their people. Mr. B have brought in his divide and rule policy. Muslims are today rising against Christians. Christians are today rising against Muslims. Last week, the xenophobic fun of the southern zone of Ambazonia, Moja, rose and said he is chasing Ambazonian from the northern zone out of the southern zone of Ambazonia. And we still continue falling into the prey of Mr. Bia. Mr. Bia is a manipulator. Since the recolonization of Southern Cameroons by French Cameroons, we've been manipulated. We've lived under Mr. Bia's madness. We are being manipulated to hate ourselves. Right in our family milieu, we do not like ourselves. And that is what La République du Cameroun is doing. That is what La République du Cameroun is doing. We cannot divert the revolution into a xenophobia. We cannot divert the revolution into killing our own people. We must end this madness. 2021 should be a year of change in Ambazonia. An Ambazonia where you will see your brothers you will not judge your brother from their family backgrounds, but from their behavior and attitude in the quarters. You will not hate your brother because you will not use the revolution in certain cause, but in fighting a cause as a people to restore the territorial integrity of Southern Cameroons. The independence of Southern Cameroons was granted. We are not fighting a wrong cause. It was meant to be an intellectual battle, not a physical combat. Though Mr. Bia picked up arms, slaughtered and killed our people, this is not what we bargain for our people. This is not what we bargain for Southern Cameroons as a nation. Southern Cameroonians should live in a Southern Cameroons where they will be afraid of French Cameroons army of occupation and not by our children. Southern Cameroons should be a friendly nation to her citizens. And we must adopt this political philosophy. In politics, you do not compel one to buy your political ideology. You convince people to buy your political ideology. You do not compel people to buy your political philosophy. No. I can't be going this direction in politics and you think the direction is not good for me. When Yannick Sikot was about to leave the revolution, he led the revolution and promised the people he worked with that if they do not change to fight for a free Ambazonia, if they continue enriching themselves out of people's money, he will quit the revolution. And he later on came and denounced himself as an activist and started advocating for Mr. Bia. That is how Yannick Sikot left the revolution. Nambere was caught by some leaders. Since some leaders wanted to use Nambere negatively, Nambere went to Nigeria. They frustrated him. He got frustrated in Nigeria and was forced, due to abject poverty, to go back to La République. Nambere knows that he did the wrong thing. And right now he is regretting because Nambere, all his outings are being sponsored by La République du Cameroun. Nambere is in jail. If you look at Nambere, look at his stomach. That is somebody suffering from kwashiorkor. So the leaders of the revolution should know how to treat the youth, because the youth are the strength of the revolution. The youth have stood for the revolution. The youth have fought for the revolution. 99.99% of those fighting on ground zero for the freedom of Ambazonia are the youth. But they are the most minimized people in the revolution. The 30-something people captured, arrested in Nigeria, in Taraba, were youths. They were all youths, and some were killed. Where is Babila Vena? Those are the youths of Ambazonia lavishing in jail. What the leaders of the revolution would have taken a whole year to fight for is for the liberation of our people detained by French Cameroon. When a court verdict was passed in Nigeria in favor of Southern Cameroonians arrested in Nigeria, refugees arrested in Nigeria, violating their statuses as refugees. When they were arrested in Nigeria by the Nigerian government and handed over to the French Cameroons gerontocrat Paul Biya, what have the leaders of the revolution done since the verdict was passed? We lack true democracy, or we lack what we call diplomacy. Because after the court verdict, do you want Nigerian government to again fight for you to release your leaders in your nation? That is what the leadership of this revolution would have taken the court verdict from Nigeria and filed another case with the international community, that the rights of Ambazonians, British Southern Cameroonians refugees have been violated, and a court in Nigeria asked for their deportation because Nigeria was ready to pay. Nigeria was ready to pay some fines to the leaders arrested in Nigeria. The leaders outside would have jointly fought for the release or the deportation of Southern Cameroon's political activists to Nigeria. If you took that as a diplomatic approach, our people would have been released. Still in 2020, Ambazonians were arrested, refugees were arrested in America, trying to seek protection from the American government. They were arrested. Approximately 80 refugees were detained in one of the detention facilities of ICE in America. And the leadership of our revolution still did not know that they could go internationally or diplomatically to meet the international community or to meet some non-governmental organizations to file in claim and for our brothers to be protected in America. Since the deportation of refugees, people seeking protection in America, we do not know their fate today. So the leadership of the Ambazonia revolution has been a total mess. We as youth of Ambazonia, a brain box, an intellectual, a young girl, a dynamic lady shall be coming up on the 31st. That is the vice president of the Ambazonian Youth Council. Don't miss her speech. Don't miss her speech. And don't think politics is for the old. Don't think it can only be done by them. The youth of Ambazonia, we must as a youth rise and fight. We must as a youth rise and we must as youth rise. We are rising to monitor the revolution. We are not forcing anybody out of office, but any leader who forgets the initial concept, the initial purpose of the revolution, any leader who forgets the initial purpose of the revolution shall have the Ambazonian Youth Council to contest with. That is the simple truth. We are into this, and we of the Ambazonian Youth Council, we have said no to criminality in Ambazonia. We have said no to kidnaps. We have said no to banditry. We have said no to corruption in Ambazonia. 2021 is a year for the youth of Ambazonia to stand not as tabula rasas, not as negative strength to the revolution. Stand and defend homeland positively. Stand and defend homeland positively. Thank you so very much. My name is Kromorichi. You are a youth activist. I am very much delighted having you live on air this morning. Thank you. Thanks for being there. The Ambazonia Youth Council. A lot of people are here with a lot of negative comments. Those are fan clubs to particular leaders of our revolution. You are club members to particular leaders of the revolution. We are not in support of any leader. We are not for any leader, and we are not against any particular leader. But we are out for the truth. No matter your comment, if you think you are man enough, go to ground zero and kidnap a single soul. Then you will have us. We will fight you to the last drop of our blood. The youth are asserting the throne of Ambazonia and shall monitor the revolution closely. That is our goal. We are monitoring the revolution. A lot of people on ground zero are already working with us, including the boys. I thought the Amber boys are going to fight us, or they're going to be disappointed in our political philosophy. When we spoke to a couple of them, we do not own fighters on ground zero. That is one thing I want everyone to know. We do not have fighters on ground zero. We do not control fighters on ground zero, but we give them advice. We give them advice. We want them to know. Last week, we told the Amber boys on ground zero that please do not depend on criminals in the diaspora or anybody anywhere in the world. Because when you depend on somebody, the day he fails you, the day he fails you, the day you do not have food on your table, you are going to be frustrated. You have other means of acquiring or of having food or feeding yourselves. Go to the lands in your village. Claim some lands. Have you asked yourself, after this war, you have sacrificed for a nation. You have sacrificed your life, time, and everything in securing homeland. Have you asked yourself what will be your fate after the war? Where are you going to be your own house? Have you asked yourself this? That is why we need to go into partnership with kings of our communities. They know exactly what is happening. They The kings, forget about those who pretend to be with Yaoundé. They are not with Yaoundé, they are confused. The reason why they are confused is because we of the revolution, we are confused as well. We have not given them hope. They think Ambazonia is a hopeless cause. The Ambazonian revolution is not a hopeless cause. But the leadership of the revolution has made the people of Ambazonia to think that the revolution is a hopeless cause. How do we rebuild hope? How do we make our people to believe and trust our revolution? So my fellow Amba boys, go and look for farms. Get yourselves involved in agricultural productivity. I think you always have foodstuffs. You always have food. You always have the means of keeping food on your table. If you continue depending on criminals, criminals shall equally squeeze money from people. What comes to you are fallen crumbs. What comes to you are crumbs. And some of them manipulate you. They manipulate you and you keep torturing our people, mistreating our people. You have to murder this. You have to stand for what we call, stand for the revolution. Stand for the truth. Stand for justice. When the struggle started circa 2017, a lot of things happened. In 2018, by 2017, when war started, the Amber boys did not have good ammunition. You didn't have guns, but you were defeating. It was very difficult to hear the untimely demise of an Amber boy. But what happened? What happened? Why are we dying? Why are the Amber boys being slain as goats? War is not a bad thing. But when you start doing terrible things, the gods of Ambazonia will no longer protect you. The gods will allow you to be killed. That is why you are being killed. Fight a just cause and God will direct you. Fight a just cause and God will show you the way. Thank you so very much, fellow Southern Cameroonians. Thank you so very much. We are for you. In 2021, our goals, we want to fight for those in jail. We want to fight for those in jail. We are thinking of our refugees across the globe. We have a lot of things to do as a youth of Ambazonia. You can contact me on my Facebook page, Kromorichi, or contact my number. Go to the Ambazonia Youth Council, the platform. You have any number there. Register yourself and be a part of this. Don't miss the Vice President's speech tomorrow. We are the strongest group in Ambazonia, not ready for power. We're not fighting for power, but struggling to monitor the revolution. Thank you so much.